Hey y'all, I was looking at the wrong thing, waiting on the timer. But hey y'all, welcome back to another video of Life with Chelsea for the Bold and Beautiful June 4th, 2025. Okay, y'all. So first things first, let me know y'all thoughts on today's new episode down below. Look, the crazy girl don't sit up here and got the weapon. She already got the weapon, y'all. They showed it at the end of the episode. She was talking to the dude. The dude brought it. She gave the money or whatever. I said, yeah, she's supposed to be pointing it at the laptop of Steffi's picture. But yeah, she finna target her. But they said that not Steffi. They said that Sheila's supposed to warn Finn. But yeah, first thing first, let me know y'all thoughts down below on this episode. I think the highlight was just at the end of the episode when it revealed that she was gonna buy the weapon. But yeah, so first we're gonna start with Luna, Finn, Steffi. So Luna ends up trying to convince Finn she doesn't want Finn to let Steffi shut him out of her life or whatever, and just was trying to say this is Steffi's words. Steffi's the one deciding this. I said, but she didn't lie though. It's definitely Steffi's words. Even when I said, Finn, what I tell y'all yesterday? What did I tell y'all yesterday? I said Finn talking in a way that shows that he only doing that because of Steffi. And he said, I said, you ain't supposed to say that. What he said? Let me see. Let me see. I think I wrote it down. I think hold on. Of course he don't want to shut Luna down. I think Luna was saying something about I know you don't want to shut me down or whatever. He like, of course I don't want to shut you down. I said, you ain't supposed to say that. But then he was like, but I had to shut you down because of everything that you did or whatever. And I was like, dude. And Stephanie just back there looking so worried. But yeah, on today's episode, like I said, Luna was saying how she doesn't want Finn to let Steffi shut him out of her life. And she just was saying how she's not that person anymore. I said, you over here planning to take this lady out already? What you talking about? She ain't the same person no more. But yeah, the whole scene was just her trying to beg Finn and try to get him to see that Steffi is basically manipulating him. She's the reason why they can't be involved and stuff like that. Look, she tried to throw what she said. She was saying how she doesn't want no one wants anything to do with her own grandmother. And they was like, Lee wouldn't want anything to do with you. And then they figured out that it was Sheila. And Steffi got worried. She was like, Sheila has taken you under her wing. And then she was like, no, she told me I need to leave Los Angeles. And I said, right, get it right. I said, she ain't trying to persuade you to do nothing to this girl. She trying to save her. But yeah, they said that she was supposed to be the one to warn Finn, and that's how they gonna find out. But again, the spoiler says something about Steffi gets caught in the crossfire. So I don't know if that means she gonna get hurt or what. But yeah, what else happened? Let me see. It got to the point where that's when Finn was like, of course he don't want to shut Luna down. He has to. And I said, sir. But he said because of who Luna is and everything she did, and she murdered two people. And they just kept reminding her of the fact that she murdered two people, and that's why. And she started talking about she not the same person and all this other stuff. And then she'll slick say that she gonna do something. What did she say? She said something and they caught onto it. But she was kind of implying that she would do something. She said she didn't know what she was gonna do. She said Finn don't accept her and welcome her, or if they didn't accept her and welcome her into their life, she don't know what she'll do. And they brought it up, and she was like, "No, I just meant that, that's a girl." But yes, that's all they was talking about. Let me see. Yeah, Luna said she don't know what she'll do if Finn them doesn't give her a chance. They still telling her they'll never have a chance. Luna told that Sheila told her to leave town. Finn ends up saying that Luna will never have a place in their lives. But again, the way he was talking, you know that he only saying that because of Steffi. Even when he hugged Steffi at the end of their scene or whatever, his face always showed like he doesn't agree with it. And I said, at what point do you get to actually see Sheila and Luna for who they is? Like, what you got to do? You done got shot now. You done got shot. Your wife done got put in the doggone cage. She done got shot. What, somebody got to die or something for him to get it? But yeah, what else? Like I said, Finn ends up saying that Luna will never have a place in their lives, and she still was like, no, I don't believe you. I know it's because of Steffi. So then they end up telling her she needs to leave, and not just the house or not just their lives. She needs to leave Los Angeles, whatever. And Steffi agreed. And that's when she went to the door, and she was like, "I'll be back, Steffi." I said, "This girl crazy." I said, "This girl's crazy." Hold on, y'all. But yeah, at the end of their scene, that's when Finn hugs Steffi and everything. Oh wait. I think Finn was asking Steffi if she's okay. He was saying how he couldn't imagine how she felt being there all alone. She was like, actually, I wasn't afraid of her. I know she's capable of, but I wasn't afraid. I said, well, I told y'all that yesterday too. I said they always be like, I ain't afraid, or they'll be like they afraid of something. Then they see no, they see no, they be in danger. Then it's a whole nother story. Who else we got? Sheila and Deacon. Sheila ends up saying that she wanted to know who her granddaughter is. She wanted to spend time with her because he was mad. He was upset that she had something to do with Luna. First, he was like, "You saying that you saw her by running into her?" She was like, "No, she chose to see her. She just wanted to have excuse me, she just wanted to get to know her granddaughter or whatever." So then she was like, but then I seen that she was just as crazy as me. Nah. She said, then I seen she crazier than me. She said it for real, y'all. But basically, she was like, I thought I could get through to her. I thought I could, talk some sense to her, but nothing. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, once again, Sheila was saying how she wanted to know her granddaughter. She was trying to explain it to Deacon. Deacon was upset. He repeated that the fact that she murdered two people, both of their friends or whatever. I said Sheila don't care nothing about that, obviously. But yeah, Sheila ends up saying, but now she's getting worried. And he was like, what do you mean? And she basically said, and I agree with Deacon. Deacon said on today's episode, he was like, so she's not trying to hide the fact that she wants to murder Steffi. I said, she definitely not. She just said that she wanted to eliminate her and she wanted to get rid of her. She definitely, that's exactly what she said. And Sheila was like, she trying to pull me into it or whatever. She tried to convince me, that the best thing that we both can have what we want if, if Stephanie was out the way or whatever. I said, right, she definitely tried to pull her in. I said, when she had time to contact this dude. Because at the end of their scene, once again, if you just coming in, Luna done bought the weapon, y'all. Luna bought the weapon from the guy. He's supposed to ask her on tomorrow's episode what she gonna do with it. And she gonna say, what do you think? And that's when she gonna be pointing I almost said it. She gonna be pointing the weapon at look like a computer screen. I don't know though, y'all. I just know it's gonna be Steffi photo. Hold on. Yeah, I know it's just gonna be a picture of Steffi's photo. What else happened? Let me see. Let's see. We gonna end with that's the last people, so we ain't got no choice but to end with Reach now. Sheila was telling Deacon how she was trying to put Luna on the right path, show her the way, show her that, she could prove that she really has changed. I said, even though Sheila hasn't been doing anything, they still don't care. They still think that she's still the same person. Even with Ridge and Electra and what's his name? Will. They were saying how Electra was saying how Sheila defended her, stuff like that, and that's when Ridge was saying how she shouldn't get too comfortable or whatever because she's still the same psychopath. She is though, she definitely is. But yeah, Luna. Why I said Luna? Electra, Will, Ridge. So Electra and Will was about to kiss. That's when Ridge came in. They ends up mentioning how, something about HR and the fact that they're kissing in the office. I said, right. I said, I'm glad he said that, but he still was like, he understand that they young or whatever. I was about to say teenager, that they young or whatever, so it's gonna happen. But I was like, remember what we was talking about how Hope just be over here. That's why she got in trouble. That's why she got in trouble in the first place, over here putting on lingerie and stuff. But yeah, then Ridge ends up saying how he talked to Katie. Katie told what happened, and he was trying to warn her and let her know that Luna's dangerous. She needs to stay away from her. And she said to me, "I held my own." I was like, "Do y'all what the?" They always be like, I held my own. I'm not afraid. These people crazy. They shooting people behind dumpsters and stuff. Y'all talking about y'all, we ain't afraid or whatever. So they talk all they know. Then they still know they get held against the dumpster. What happened with what was his name? Remy. What he did? I think he tried to. I don't know if he didn't try to throw it off a roof, did he? I don't know what he was gonna do to her. Either way it go, they always talk all they know. Then they be afraid. Hold on, y'all. But she actually might not get a chance to harm Electra though, because she's supposed to do something to Steffi. She's supposed to go to Bill on Friday's episode and try to get him to be on her side, and that's when she gonna get shot. So I'm assuming she finna go to jail. But we'll see, y'all. What else happened? Rich tells Electra to be careful, Luna dangerous. That's when she was saying how she held her own. And she was like, actually, I wasn't by myself. Somebody helped. And he was like, who? And she was like, Sheila, Luna's grandmother or whatever. And that's when he was like, you can't trust her because she just as crazy as her granddaughter, which is true. But yeah, I think that's everything, y'all. Let me scan these notes right fast to see. Luna doesn't want to fight. That ain't what they say. I be reading stuff and they don't be what it say. Luna doesn't want Finn to let Steffi shut him out of her life. Will thinks what Electra said to Luna. Oh, I supposed to started with it. Will was telling Electra he hasn't get. He was like, I didn't get no text messages from Luna or whatever. Look like whatever you said worked. I said, dude, why you ain't blocked her yet? Why you haven't blocked her yet? He over here waiting on her text message. But yeah, what else? Finn said we already talked about Finn. Luna reached tell Electra to be careful. I think that's everything, y'all. Deacon said that Luna threatening Steffi again. Steffi's in danger. They was talking about whether or not they should call the police. What Deacon was saying. Um, should we call the police? I was like, y'all need to call somebody. Y'all need to call somebody. And somebody pointed out, they said what happened to the guards? Cause then they said they up security. I said these for security and they camera don't work. They cameras don't work. They security guards don't work. I said, what's the good of it? Cause wasn't they supposed to have security anyways because they work at a top fashion house or something? I don't know, y'all. But either way it go, if you got two crazy people that's trying to murder you, you might want to have security or whatever. But yeah, I think that's it, y'all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces, have a great rest of the day and be safe.